Okay, so this is a Module 11 skill builder that's going to teach you the basics about moon phases, and you're going to later need this information when you work out when you work out the lab activity for this module. So it's worth working through, and the simulation is kind of basic, not super fancy, but is useful. Now, one thing you should know is you can look at this setup. There's the sun, there's the moon, there's the earth, either in kind of side view or top view. And the only reason why you really want to use the side view is just to emphasize the fact that the moon, earth, and sun, particularly the moon, the earth goes around the sun on a certain plane, and the moon goes around the earth on a plane, and the moon's plane around the earth is different than the earth's plane around the sun. And that's the reason why we don't have eclipses every month. Because as you're going to learn, when you have moon phases, it has to do with the orientation of the sun, the earth, and the moon. Particularly like the new moon phase. That's when the moon is between the earth and the sun. But it's not exactly between, because it may be like below the Earth-Sun plane or above the Earth-Sun plane. Because if it were directly between the Earth and the Sun, then you would have a solar eclipse every month, and that doesn't happen. So that's one thing I want you to first of all understand. That's perhaps illustrated a little bit better by the side view. The top view shows it's a little bit easier to visualize as far as the different moon phases. So first thing you need to do is to make sure that you have the terminator correct. So you tap on the moon until you get the moon lined up properly, and then you check. So notice that the side that's facing the sun should be lit up. The side that's facing away from the sun, the unilluminated side, should be dark. You check your answer, and you're allowed to move on. And it's going to ask you a bunch of questions about how the illuminated side should be oriented, how should the dark side be oriented, and then it's going to actually move so I'll do it again. Okay, blah, 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 blah. And it won't let you move on unless you get it correct. But eventually you're going to get to the point where it's going to now move the moon around the Earth to show you the different phases. And that's the really important thing for you to understand, is the fact that, well, one thing you should notice is that no matter where the moon is, half of it is lit up and half of it is not lit up. But the moon is not always halfway illuminated, at least from our viewpoint, because we don't see we only see a portion of the illuminated part of the moon, typically. So if you can imagine standing on the Earth here and looking at this moon, well, you would see a little bit of moon lit up on the right side, but most of it would be dark. The side that's facing the Earth, you can almost imagine a little bisector, bisecting the moon now this way. Instead of moving it this way, that's the illumination. But now think about the side that you can see when viewed from Earth. Well, notice that now the moon is not, the side that's facing the Earth is not halfway illuminated. Only a little sliver on the right side is lit up. From the Earth perspective, most of the moon is dark. That's why you see the different shapes that we call phases.